There we go. Okay. So, yesterday we started notes on maps, like different types of maps. We did about half of that. We need to go back and finish that up. So I'm going to present my screen, and we're going to go ahead and finish that up. So on Google Classroom, do you guys see my screen?
Do we open it up?
Yep, that's what I was going to say. On Google Classroom, you're going to go ahead and scroll down to Social Studies. And we're doing the map skills again. So you can open the PowerPoint if you'd like to. It's going to be on my screen as well. But you definitely need to open up the map skills notes. And from yesterday, you should have all 6 boxes filled out. We're just not done with all of it. There's still more things to put under definitions, and we still need to answer 2 of the questions. So we're going to finish that up today, and that should be all we're going to do today. I don't see us moving on to the next part until tomorrow, unless we have like a lot of time, but I don't think we will. Okay, so I'll give you about a minute. Let's go ahead and get this pulled up. Your Jones Map Skills notes. When you're good, go ahead and type done in the chat so I know that we are ready to move on.
I'm ready. Are we finishing this?
Mr. Jones, it didn't save my work. I just got on it and it won't show me the work.
I don't know where it would have gone. The whole point of Google is that it should save it. I don't know why it's not.
Ready for what?
You're pulling up the Jones Map Skills notes.
Ready for what?
The Jones. All right, can you hear me, Charlie? We're working on the Jones Map Skills notes. So on Google Classroom, you got to pull up the notes that we were working on yesterday.
Are we doing the same thing as yesterday? Just finish filling it out?
Yep, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Okay.
Alrighty. So it looks like most of you guys have it pulled up. So we're going to go ahead and get going. I'm going to have the PowerPoint up right now really quick. So if you're looking at my screen, we talked about yesterday, we talked about the objective, the key vocabulary, and we wrote down the essential questions. These essential questions are what we answered 1 and 2 yesterday, but we're going to finish up today so we can answer 3 and 4. Okay, we talked about what a map is, and then the 3 types of maps. We have physical, political, and thematic. Before we go on, who wants to remind me what a physical map tells you?
I do.
Go ahead.
It shows the
It shows the what? Sorry.
It shows the outlines of the countries, but it doesn't. Well, it shows the outlines of the continents, but not the countries. Like you can only see countries and stuff.
Good. So it does not have borders or anything. It shows you the landscape, right? Nothing is man-made on there, right? What about,
Mr. Jones, do you want me to copy and paste or just type it all back down?
you might have to just kind of type most of it back down. Just do your best to keep up. If anything, just write down what we write down today, okay? All right. So that was a physical map. What about political map? What does that one show us?
It shows the countries and all the other stuff on a map.
Good. The political maps are going to show us all the borders, where the cities are, the roads, all of that stuff, right? And then what about thematic maps? This one's kind of the most obscure, the most different.
It's a map that
it shows like information or information about stuff.
Good. Both of you were right. Yep. So it gives you a theme like population or number of goats, right? That was one of our examples. And it just that gives you a map and it tells you this many of this in this area. So it gives you a theme and it follows that theme. Good. So if we're looking at my screen and I go back to presenting our PowerPoint, we have our, come on. Oh my gosh, I won't let me move. Physical maps. This is what one would look like, where it just shows us the landscape. And then we have political map, which is the outline of the countries, the cities, where the oceans are, all of the things like that. Then we have our thematic map, which gives us an area, and then it's color coded to show us. We have to use the key so it tells us this is the amount of goats in Texas. So right in here in the middle of Texas, there's 33,000 to 77,000 goats in those areas, which is a lot of goats. Can I just say, lots of goats.
Wait, what are the goats stuff? Like the animal?
Yeah, like
Or-
the animal goats.
For real?
Apparently, I don't know how true this map is. Also, it's from 2006, so it's 14 years old. These could have
But it-
changed at this point, but yeah,
But it could have risen or gone lower.
it could have. But I'm assuming that there's probably a lot of farmland where that blue area is, so there's more goats in that area, you know? All right. Now, what we're going to do today is this part, the map components. So the parts of a map, things that make up a map that are important. First, we're going to talk about a title of a map, because if there's no title, you don't really know exactly what the map is telling you. We're going to talk about grid lines on a map. We're going to talk about the compass, the key or the legend, and then the scale. So let's go ahead and go to title first. So these are the definitions we're going to write down next. First, we have the title. The title of the map indicates what the map is about. This is always the first part of the map that you should look at. So what does this map show? Yes, it's the United States, but what is this map telling us?
It's showing different cities and stuff.
Close. Look at the title. Find the title and tell me what the title is.
Significant rivers of the contained United States or whatever, something like that.
Yep. So on this one, this map, yes, it's the United States, but it's only showing us the rivers in this case. So there's a nice big river. Let's see, where's the Mississippi? There it is. The Mississippi runs all the way down. So it's just showing us the rivers in this case. So we're going to go to our notes page. Oh, man. Okay, hang on. I'm going to close it. Sorry, I closed it on accident. What are you doing?
Wish
So under
John had it
definition,
copy and paste. I was gonna copy and paste something real quick.
to copy and paste, you highlight it, and then you do Control C on your keyboard to copy, or you can right click and click copy, and then you click where you want it to be, and then you either hit Control V on your keyboard, or you right click and hit paste.
Okay.
Okay. So under definitions, we have our first three. Let's type in our next one, the title of something. Now, the title is going to do what? What does it tell you?
It tells you what the map is.
Tells you what the map is about. Yep. So it tells you what the map is about. Without a title, you don't really know. We could be looking at a map of the United States, but what about the United States? Is it showing us the rivers? Is it showing us mountains? The actual states? And that one, it was showing us the rivers, right? But they could have changed it up on us, right? And been like, here's all the mountains, but we wouldn't really necessarily know unless they told us, hey, this is a map of all the mountains in the US. So the title is just super helpful in telling us what our map is about. Okay, I'm going to give you about a minute to write that down.
Is that all that's written down on that?
Yeah, for now. Sorry, I'm just checking attendance real quick. Okay, sorry. Just checking on that. Do you guys need about 30 more seconds?
No.
I'm ready.
Alrighty. If you do need more time, it's going to be here after as well, once we talk about the next one. So if we go back to our presentation, we just talked about the title of the map. Let's talk about the grid line.
Because it's like lagging so much that I don't really know.
Okay, Charlie, it might be better if you like watch it later. Try and follow along today, but if the internet's not holding up super well, I post these later, so it might be better to follow along after if it keeps lagging.
So is it working?
It's
Okay,
lagging.
good. All right. So, grid lines. These are the latitude and longitude on a map. Okay, so latitude will always run between. Why do they have these backwards? Latitude. Do you guys see what's wrong on this page? Anybody notice it? Yeah, no, it's fine. Never mind. They do this so weird. I don't like the slide very much. Latitude is the ones that go around the globe in terms of like horizontally, so they run parallel to the equator. So you can think of it as like latitude. When we were growing up, we called it latitude fatitude because it's how wide it is. And then longitude goes up and down vertically between the North and the South Pole. So those are the grid lines that are on your maps. Okay, so let's go over to our notes and talk about our grid lines. Okay, so for the grid lines, let's start with latitude. Latitude. Which way does that run? Does latitude run horizontal or vertical? What did it say?
It showed like what the equator is. It's like the equator. It
Okay.
goes around it, not up over it.
Good. So it's not up and down. It's going to be side to side, which means it's going to be horizontal. So latitude runs horizontal. I'm going to write side to side on there, just so that you kind of keep it together. Latitude runs horizontal, side to side. And put a period. And then longitude runs, what's the opposite of horizontal?
Vertical?
Good. Longitude runs vertical, which is up and down. And I will leave it at that. So the lines that are running across your maps from side to side are your latitude lines. And then your up and down lines are your longitude lines. They run vertical. And I'll give you guys another minute to write that out. Again, if you fall behind, we can hang out at the end and you can get it all typed out as well. Ready for our last one? Or not our last one, but our next one?
On the key vocabulary one, not on the definitions.
Mm-hmm.
Are the ones we're doing right now, are they not key vocabulary?
The ones that we're doing right now are the component parts. So a component is a part of something. So what we're doing are the components of a map.
Okay.
So yeah, they're kind of connected. Okay, let's look at our next one. We just talked about the grid lines. Up next, we have the compass rose. This shows us the directions, right, of something. North, south, east, and west. The compass rose just tells you directions. You have your cardinal directions, which are the absolute like north, south, east, and west. And then the intermediate directions are the ones in the middle. So you have northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest. Those are intermediate directions. But have you guys heard of the acronym to know what like north, south, east, west is? Anybody heard that?
Isn't it like
No.
never eat soggy waffles or something like that?
It is. It's never eat soggy
never
waffles.
eat
So north
soggy worms. Or
worm. Ew. I like waffles better. Never eat soggy waffles. Goes around clockwise. North is at the top for never. Eat is at the side for east. South is soggy. Waffles is west, or worms if you want to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and type that into our notes. So our number 6 is the compass. And what does the compass show you?
North, south, and east.
And what's the last one? North, south, east, and west. Good. Shows you where north, south, east, and west are. Right? I'll give you a second to go ahead and type that one out. All right, are you ready for the next one?
No.
Nope, not
Yeah.
yet. Okay. We'll do another 30
Yeah.
seconds and then we'll do the next one.
Hallelujah.
Oh, it's your puppy.
Alrighty, I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. So we just talked about the compass. It's going to tell you all the directions, where each one is. Next one is your map key or your legend. So these explain, so down here, this explains the colors that are used on the map, any symbols that you see. So this one up here shows really common symbols that you're going to see, like a star is the state capital in the U.S. We put a star on the capitals. Little dots is going to show you just a town in the state, not necessarily the capital. State borders are dots and dashes. International boundary would be like the boundary between Canada and the U.S. So the map key just kind of explains the symbols that are used. Okay, let's go type that out. So our map key or legend. Sometimes it's called a legend. Just it's the same thing as like a key to decipher something. So what was the point of a map key?
To name like cities, towns, capitals, and states, and to show you where everything is.
Yeah.
That way you can find your way around if you need a map.
Good. And we're going to use it to explain what the symbols on the map mean, right? Okay. This just explains the little symbols that are used. Like if it's a campground, sometimes they'll have a tent because there's a campground at that area, or a rest stop on a highway might have like a picture of a bathroom. I don't know, something like that, right? Just kind of gives you a key so you know what the symbols mean.
Isn't they supposed to be duh or something?
Yeah, sorry. Explain what the symbols mean.
What's number 8?
That's the last one we're going to do, I think. I think there's one more.
What are we doing on the answer things for the essential questions?
We're going to answer number 3 and 4 when we're all done. So in just a few minutes. I was looking for something on my other computer, but I can't seem to find it. Oh well. Okay, let's go ahead and do number 8. There should be one last thing for us to look at. So we just talked about the map key. Tells us what the symbols mean. The last part is the scale. So the map's scale, if we read this, it shows the relationship between the distance on the map and then the distance on the Earth's surface. The map scale above shows miles and kilometers. So these are like really long. A mile is a long way. You're not going to be able to fit that on one map, right? So a lot of the time, they'll say like 1 centimeter is equal to 15 miles on a map. So they give you a scale of if you were to put a ruler on your map and you measured out 5 centimeters, you can multiply that by the number of miles, and it would be the distance that it is in real, like if you were to have to like actually walk it in real on the Earth. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right,
A little bit.
A little bit. I'll show you guys some better examples in a second. I'll go on the internet. So a map scale shows the relationship between the distance on a map. So the scale shows the relationship between the distance on the map and the distance on the Earth. So I'm gonna have you guys type that out. I'll give you about a minute and a half, and then I'm gonna show you guys some examples. I'll Google it and show you guys some on my screen.
Is that all for the definitions?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Why can't we? My parents want to die.
All right. Let me look up some map skills.
Are there any Moby and Tim videos of stuff like this, or is it only science?
You know, there probably is. I'll look it up in a second.
Okay.
So let's look at, let's see. Here we go. This is kind of as big as it's gonna go. Okay, can you guys somewhat see that a little bit? This big one?
No.
Okay, so if you're looking at my screen, it says right here 1 inch equals 1 mile. So for every inch that you move on the map, so if you are actually measuring it with a ruler, every inch that you measure equals 1 mile in real life
Whoa.
on the map. So that's kind of what it means by a scale. So they take the big, obviously the world, the earth, and they put it on the map, but they have to draw it so that the distance kind of remains the same. It's not like all of a sudden it takes 8 hours to get from Winslow to Flagstaff because your map is so drawn not to scale. Like it's really wrong. So you want to draw your maps correctly. So they use scales like this to measure the distances between places. Okay? That's why we use scales.
Is there gonna be a map that we make, like our own map that we make?
You know, we're gonna do a project starting tomorrow. I don't think that you have to make your own map though, but you might have to find one. I don't remember exactly. We're gonna go over the project tomorrow though.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, Alex, let me go up to the topic. There you go. We need to answer those questions now. I believe that's the part we're on. Let me check this thing. Yeah. So we need to go down and answer those questions. So what does question number 3 say? I'm gonna let Alex keep typing, so you guys tell me what number 3 says on the essential questions box.
Oh.
List the map components.
Good. So we need to list under our answers box right here for number 3. You guys need to list the map components. So the components of a map are, and I'm gonna have you guys finish that sentence. All of the things that we just talked about are components of a map. They're all parts of a map. So go ahead and type a sentence that tells me you should have 5 components of the map.
Can you go back? I didn't see it.
The components of a map are.
Okay.
Okay. Take a second to finish that sentence. What are the 5 components of a map? What did we just list?
Do we answer this?
Yeah, answer it on your own first, and then I'll type out my answer. But try it on your own first. We did just talk about the 5 components, so I think you should be able to list them on your own.
Is online school going to be forever?
Probably not. From what I know and what the district has said, it's definitely for the first quarter. So until October, probably at least.
So if it gets worse, are we still going back?
No, if it gets worse, they'll keep us on online until it's safe.
How long have we been in quarantine for, like the coronavirus for? Like, because China's well over almost a year.
You mean since like March when we went into quarantine?
Yeah, like how many months has it been? Like since March,
Or
April,
March,
May,
April, May,
June,
June.
July, August.
About
Now we're in
6 months.
September. Yeah, 6.
So about 6 months at this point. Yeah.
China's like almost a year at least,
Yeah, I could see that.
because they started in December of last year,
hmm
and it got really bad. Like it started moving in like January and February.
Yeah.
I'm going to be alone for my birthday.
Okay, I was alone for my birthday too. Everybody's doing that, unfortunately.
I got kind of lucky because my birthday was like
Miss Jones, mine didn't work. Mine keeps going to the bottom. It's not.
Hey,
I was lucky. My birthday was on the. I was lucky. My birthday was Friday.
That's good.
Day.
Juliana, was it you that said something wasn't working? No? Okay.
Birthday's in November, so I have hope.
Yeah, we'll see. All right.
November.
Let's go back to our thing and just finish this up really quick. So, I wrote my answer to number 3. So for you guys, you should have written something along the lines of the components of a map are the title, the grid lines, the compass, the map key, and the scale. Those are the 5 things we just talked about that are most commonly seen on a map. Okay? And then finally, we need to describe the use of each map component. So let's start with the title. The title is used for what? What do we use the title for?
We use it to figure out what the map is telling you.
Yep. So the title is used for figuring out what the map is telling us. Good. I'm going to kind of ask questions and type it out, and then I'm going to give you guys time to type it, so it's okay if you fall behind. What about the grid lines? What are the grid lines used for? We didn't talk too much about it. Any ideas?
It's about longitude and latitude.
Mm-hmm. So the grid lines will tell us the latitude and the longitude of a place. So if I were to ask you guys what's the latitude and longitude of Winslow, Arizona, you would go find it on the map, and there's a point where the latitude and longitude lines cross, and you would be able to tell me the exact coordinates of Winslow. That's kind of why we use grid lines.
Wait, so Arizona's on the equator?
No, grid
Or is
lines.
it-
Grid lines cross all over the
Right.
place.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
because there's like, so the equator is at
Because-
0 for the latitude, and then if you go up, you have like 1 degree latitude, 2 degrees latitude, 3 degrees, and it goes all the way up until North Pole, and then you could go down to the South Pole. So they get crossed. The latitude and longitude lines cross all over the place, so you can tell like the exact coordinates of where they cross.
So
That's how people identify locations.
So that's that's why they have so many lines on the thing.
Yes. The most common people that use it are like with military people. They will be like if they're out on like a mission or something, they'll say that their coordinates are this latitude and this longitude, and that'll tell them the exact place on the Earth that these people are at. Okay.
Think of Battleship.
Yeah, kind of like Battleship. Yep.
Jones.
Yeah.
I don't have that last part.
The last part.
The one for number 4.
All you have to do is up on number 3 at the end of it, hit enter, and you'll get a number 4.
Oh,
Mine's
again, I
still
did not know we were still on the other one. I thought we were on the different one.
Nope.
I did not know we were still on answers.
Yep, we're down on answers. So I hit
used that
enter
one.
to do our number 4. So the grid lines are used to tell us the latitude and longitude of different locations. Okay. What about the compass? What is the compass used for?
To tell what's east, west, and south.
Yep, to tell us where north, south, east, and west are. Good. I'm gonna give you guys time to write this. I'm just gonna finish it up, and then I'll give you guys time. We did the compass. What about the map key? What is the map key used for?
To tell you the rivers and capitals and states.
Yep, you're on the right track, but we know what the rivers look like and what cities or capitals because we're using the symbols, right? So the map key is used to tell us what the symbols on the map mean. And finally, the scale is used to tell us what? What does the scale tell us?
This
Any ideas?
no.
No? Anybody else? No? So the scale is used to tell us distance something is on the map compared to the real Earth. Compared to Earth. So the distance on the map is 1 inch, but on Earth that would be 1 mile. So it's telling us these different, the distances compared to each other. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that up, let you guys type for a little bit. After maybe 3 or 4 minutes, if you need a different section to finish copying that part, let me know and I will go through different sections. If you are completely done typing it, then you can turn it in. We're going to finish up there today and start the project part of things tomorrow. There's just not really enough time. At about 2 o'clock today, I'm gonna change the slide just really quick. I'm gonna go to Google Classroom. The writing thing we were doing this morning on ELA, most of you guys have written on the new Writing to Sources #2 document, but there are a couple of you guys that wrote on the original Writing to Sources and turned it in, but I cannot see it. So if you're one of the 2 people that have written on this and turned it in, I can't see your work. Just the way that this document was done, can't. So you're going to have to copy and paste it onto this second document and turn that one in instead. But I'm going to delete this first document at about 2 o'clock. So if you don't get it copied over by then, your assignment's going to be gone and you're going to have to redo it. Does that make sense? There's 2 of you guys that have done that, so you need to go copy that over. Okay? So that is that's going to be it for today. I'm going to leave it on this part for you.
What do we do when we're done?
When you're done, go ahead and turn it in.
I did.